So Nike finally released their trailer for Caitlin Clark's sneaker. They finally did.
All eyes on tonight's matchup. We are in for a show.
Yo, let's talk about something that's got the basketball world buzzing, the sneakerheads in a frenzy, and the haters losing their absolute minds. Nike finally did it. After months of what felt like fumbling the bag with their golden goose, they've dropped the Caitlin Clark commercial we've all been waiting for. And let me tell you, it's not just a commercial, it's a full-on statement. Nike has officially unleashed a masterpiece that screams, Caitlin Clark is here and she's running this league. The internet is on fire, the resale market is popping off, and the salt from the critics? Oh, it's flowing at dead sea levels. If you haven't seen it yet, I'm pretty sure you've heard about it by now. Nike's new Caitlin Clark commercial for her player-exclusive PE Kobe 5s is out, and it's giving the most magnetic player in basketball the spotlight she's deserved all along.
Heard already, I'm pretty sure you have. Nike has released a new Caitlin Clark commercial, and they made it their business to show love and show out for none other than CC. Now, we know fans has definitely been in odds with the company ever since signing Caitlin Clark. A lot of people feel as if they put Caitlin Clark on the back burner. I don't know, man. I'm a Nike fan. I know a lot of people going to disagree with me on this, but I think Nike was strategic with their Caitlin Clark growth. People could be mad about it or feel whatever way they feel about it. But one thing I can tell you is that I feel as if they were strategic.
Let's set the stage. Caitlin Clark, the woman who single-handedly dragged women's basketball into the mainstream, filling arenas like she's handing out free cash, finally got the kind of ad that matches her energy. This isn't just some low-budget thrown-together promo. This is premium, high-energy, cinematic greatness. It's the kind of treatment Nike reserves for its biggest superstars, and it's about time they gave it to Clark. The commercial dropped alongside the announcement of her Indiana Fever player-exclusive Kobe 5s, set to hit shelves in just a couple of weeks. These sneakers, first spotted on Clark's feet during games, were initially thought to be a one-off custom colorway just for her. But then Nike dropped the bomb. Official images leaked, and they confirmed that everyone will have a chance to cop these fire kicks. And trust me, they are fire. Let's break down this commercial because it's not just an ad, it's a cultural moment. Picture this. Caitlin Clark sits down in a chair, laces up her Kobe 5s, and as she locks in, her eyes morph into those snake-like slits, channeling the Mamba mentality of Kobe Bryant himself. The visual effects are straight-up cinematic, with a vibe that screams intensity, focus, and dominance.
Clark and Nike are officially dropping Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever player-exclusive Kobe 5s in just a couple weeks. So this shoe was first seen being worn by Caitlin and was thought to be a colorway made just for her up until just a couple days ago, where Nike's official images of the shoes got leaked and the announcement was made saying that everyone will now have a chance to wear it.
Nike didn't just make a commercial, they made a declaration to the world. Caitlin Clark is the face of this league, and they're finally ready to market her like it. The cinematography is top tier, the production value is through the roof, and the whole vibe feels like something reserved for the LeBrons, the Jordans, the Kobes of the world, not the scraps women's basketball has been getting for decades. The Mamba connection is no accident. Clark has been rocking Kobe sneakers since her college days at Iowa, calling them her magic shoes and her babies. This isn't some forced marketing ploy, it's authentic. Clark embodies the same obsessive dedication, killer instinct, and ability to elevate everyone around her that defined Kobe's career. When she channels that Mamba mentality in the ad, it's not cosplay. It's a recognition of a kindred spirit. You can bet the late, great Kobe Bryant would have loved this connection. The commercial isn't just about selling sneakers. It's about cementing Clark's place in the pantheon of basketball greatness, linking her to a legend while letting her shine as her own star. Now let's talk about the sneakers themselves, because the numbers don't lie.
We got something for Caitlin. We got Mamba Caitlin. We got Mamba Caitlin. Where is the Mamba Caitlin? There we go. We have the Mamba logo. We have Caitlin on demon time right now. But yeah, it's good to note that they finally announced it as Caitlin's, as a Caitlin logo, or is that
the Caitlin Clark PE Kobe 5s, retailing at $190, sold out in 5 minutes. 5 minutes. People were camped out on the Nike SNKRS app like it was a Travis Scott drop. Within 2 hours, pairs were flipping on eBay for $375. And by the end of the day, StockX had them listed at an average of $365, with some pairs hitting as high as $800. That's not just demand. That's the Caitlin Clark effect in full force. Nike only made 13,000 pairs for the initial drop, which for comparison is less than half the stock of the Kobe 5 eggplant colorway, 30,000 pairs. The limited supply and insane hype just prove how much pent-up demand exists for anything Clark touches.
Now, people felt the type of way, about Caitlin Clark getting these PE shoes. A lot of people felt as if she should have her own signature shoe, which she should. She very should. But guys, I don't think there's any player that got a Kobe PE, bro. Like, do y'all know who Kobe was in the basketball world, bro? I'm just saying, like, Kobe didn't, allow, even his family, I'm pretty sure, is not just going to give his signature shoe to just anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, other NBA players ain't even got.
These sneakers aren't just shoes. They're a cultural artifact. The design is sleek, with a colorway inspired by Clark's Indiana Fever, and they've got that Mamba logo that ties them to Kobe's legacy. Fans are eating it up, and sneakerheads are scrambling. I need 2 pairs myself, one for the sneaker wall and one for the streets, because these are hitting hard, but good luck getting them at retail. The resale market is a battlefield, and if you don't have a bot or a plug, you're probably looking at $600 or more.
These things is some fire. I'm telling you, where there's smoke, there is fire, and these things is hitting so hard. And who got a bot? Who a shoe plug? Because I need 2 pairs. I need one for the sneaker wall, and I need one for my feet, because these things is hitting right here, and no, I don't want to pay $600.
This isn't manufactured hype. This is what happens when you have a superstar who moves markets like no one else in the game retail. Let's talk numbers, because the stats back up why Nike had no choice but to go all in on Clark. This is the player who drove WNBA viewership to its highest levels in 24 years. The league averaged 657,000 viewers per game in 2024, and 19 of the 22 games that topped 1 million viewers featured Clark's Indiana Fever. Her games average 1.09 million viewers, compared to just 414,000 for non-Clark games. That's a 163% increase. Attendance? Clark's games draw 15,591 fans on average, compared to 7,645 when she's not playing, a 105% spike. Road games see an 87% boost in attendance when Clark visits, and her games account for 33.5% of all WNBA attendance, despite being a fraction of the total games played. She didn't just move the needle, she broke it and launched it into space.
So it's finally here. Caitlin Clark sneakers from Nike is finally dropping. She was signed to them last year, and the sneakers is a year late in my opinion, but nonetheless, I'm excited because these sneakers is finally coming out. But what does annoy me a little bit is that this is a collaboration with Kobe. Now, Kobe, respect to Kobe, the legend, rest in peace, great basketball player. But in my opinion, Caitlin Clark is a big enough star, and she's creating her own legacy. So I feel like, at least for her first sneaker, it shouldn't be a collaboration with any other player, dead or alive, in my opinion. I feel like Caitlin should have, for her first shoe, had her own original design just for her, no collaboration.
The 2024 NCAA Women's Basketball Championship game, where Clark's Iowa Hawkeyes faced off against South Carolina, drew 18.9 million viewers, outpacing the men's final by over 4 million. That marked the first time the women's championship outdrew the men's. Her WNBA playoff games set records too, with Game 2 drawing 2.5 million viewers, the most watched WNBA game ever to air exclusively on cable. Even on a random channel like NBA TV, her games pulled 624,000 viewers, triple the viewership of other games. Clark isn't just lifting her own numbers. She's raising the tide for the entire league. Games that follow hers get ratings bumps, and other players see increased merchandise sales. The Caitlin Clark effect is real, and it's reshaping women's basketball. Of course, with great success comes great whining.
Stock price since 2021, it is down nearly 60%. Your executives and the people who are making these decisions, Their stock options are worthless. Meanwhile, you have the single biggest needle mover in all of American sports since Michael Jordan, and you have somehow convinced yourself that you need to slow play this. Let me show you Google Trends search traffic for 4 female basketball players. There is one who only rivals Caitlin Clark, and that is Angel Reese, and you do not have her. She is over at Reebok. I am so confused as to how you would be so invested in the WNBA for several years, and you have been doing great work to try to elevate and uplift that league and many of the athletes there. But this seems like you have convinced yourself that this needs to be an either-or conversation. And we never have an either-or conversation in the men's sports. You have like 10 signature athletes. Half of them don't deserve a signature.
The usual suspects are crawling out of their caves, clutching their pearls and typing furious. Kwan Huida Han Lin Li Diwen. Why is she getting all this attention? What about the other players? She's just a second-tier player. It's the same tired chorus we've heard since Clark stepped onto a professional court. The critics can't handle the fact that she's the biggest star in the game.
The long-awaited, highly anticipated Caitlin Clark player exclusive, not her signature shoe. Remember, they're not creative enough to think of that. But that should be coming out in a few months as well. But the player exclusive, they're starting to give it the push. This is the rollout. We got a clothing line coming before the holidays. Let's see how many resources Nike puts behind Caitlin Clark now that we're going to start getting some of her merchandise coming out, and fans are indeed.
And Nike's finally admitting it with this commercial. They're fuming because Clark is being treated like the superstar she is, and they're scrambling to downplay her impact. Then there's the drama around Nike's handling of Clark versus other players, like Aja Wilson. For months, Nike caught heat for slow playing Clark while pushing Wilson's signature shoe. The discourse got toxic, with some fans pitting the two players against each other, turning a business decision into a cultural firestorm. Former Nike employee Jordan Rogers, a 15-year veteran, called out the company for mishandling the single biggest needle mover in American sports since Michael Jordan.
You finally put her in a Super Bowl campaign with 9 other women, and all respect to them, but none of them are moving the needle quite like she is. Your tagline in that was "You can't win, so win." One of the best explanations I can come up with is that you are wringing your hands and afraid to enter into this politically divisive conversation that has been co-opted by the media and pundits who are race baiting and doing all kinds of ridiculous things around women's basketball. You can't win, so win. You have the unicorn, the chosen one, the one who everyone wants to hear from, and you were just sitting around Gatorade, State Farm, Gainbridge, Wilson Basketball, have all figured out how to have a point of view with Caitlin Clark. Please, for the love of God, figure something.
Actually, I thought that these might not perform well, but just wait until I show you the stock numbers on these. Not only that, but apparently her jersey is in high demand too after she publicly defended Angel Reese. I didn't think that this colorway was going to do too well at first, but pre-sale is saying otherwise. These are currently pre-selling for over $300 and the retail is only $190. They drop on June 30th and the total stock on Nike US is just 13,000 pairs. For comparison, the Kobe 5 Eggplant had just 30,000 pairs on Nike.
Meanwhile, Wilson revealed she'd known about her Nike deal for 2 years but stayed quiet, letting the narrative of being passed over for Clark fester online. The subtweets, the passive-aggressive comments, it was all manufactured drama. But that's what happens when you have a player like Clark who transcends the sport, and certain corners of the internet can't cope. Nike's finally course-correcting, and it's about time. The Caitlin Clark PE Kobe 5 commercial is a sign they're going all in on their biggest asset. This isn't just about sneakers. It's about recognizing Clark as a cultural phenomenon.
It's good to see that not only Nike are doing this, but Nike actually are willing to say, you know what, yeah, we'll give Caitlin her PE. We'll give Caitlin her PE. And I wonder what way the Haitlins are going to twist this. I wonder what way the Haitlins are going to twist.
She's not just another WNBA player. She's a market mover who brings in families, kids, casual fans, and even men who never watched women's basketball before. She's expanding the entire sports universe, and Nike is finally giving her the platform she deserves. The commercial also marks a shift in how women's sports are marketed. Historically, women's athletics have been treated as secondary, receiving just 0.4% of total sports sponsorship dollars. By putting Clark front and center, complete with a Super Bowl ad campaign featuring her alongside 9 other women, Nike is showing that female athletes can command the same premium treatment as male superstars. Clark's $28 million 8-year deal, the most lucrative endorsement contract in women's basketball history, is looking like a steal. It signals to the market that women's sports are a commercially viable powerhouse, encouraging other brands to invest in female athletes. Now let's address the elephant in the room, the Kobe PE versus a signature shoe. Some fans are upset that Clark's first big sneaker drop is a player-exclusive Kobe 5 and not her own signature design. Look, I get it. Clark is a big enough star to have her own original shoe, no question. She's creating her own legacy, and her first sneaker could have been a standalone masterpiece. But let's not sleep on the significance of a Kobe PE. Kobe Bryant was a legend, and his sneakers are sacred ground in the basketball world. The fact that Nike gave Clark a PE version of the Kobe 5 is a massive deal. No other player has gotten that kind of nod. It's a testament to her greatness and her connection to Kobe's legacy. That said, the good news is that Clark's signature shoe is reportedly dropping later this year, and it's poised to shatter every record in women's sports marketing. Nike's clearly building momentum, with a clothing line set to drop before the holidays and more merchandise on the way. They're not just treating Clark like a star, they're positioning her as the star, the main event, not a co-headliner or an afterthought. This is a game changer for women's basketball, where only 12 players in the WNBA's 28-year history have had signature shoes, compared to over 22 current NBA players. Nike's commitment to Clark isn't just about one player. It's about legitimizing women's basketball at the product and cultural level. By giving her a platform that rivals male superstars, Nike is challenging decades of sports marketing conventions. Clark's success is creating a multiplier effect across viewership, attendance, media coverage, and corporate investment. Her games don't just draw crowds, they drive conversation and inspire new fans. She's rewriting the rules of what's possible in women's sports, proving that female athletes can be primary attractions capable of driving business results independently. The haters will keep hating, but the numbers don't lie. Clark's jerseys are flying off shelves, especially after she publicly defended Angel Reese, her rival turned ally. Her sneakers are reselling for double, triple, even quadruple their retail price. Her games are shattering viewership records, and her presence is lifting the entire WNBA. Nike's stock price may be down 60% since 2021, but Clark is their chance to turn things around. She's a once-in-a-generation talent, a unicorn who moves markets like Michael Jordan did in his prime. And unlike Jordan, she's doing it in a sport that's been historically underfunded and overlooked. The Caitlin Clark era is only getting started, and Nike is finally ready to ride the wave they should have been surfing from day one. This commercial is just the beginning. With her signature shoe on the horizon and more merchandise dropping soon, Nike is betting big on Clark, and it's going to pay off. The critics will keep finding reasons to complain, but the market will keep proving them wrong. Those Kobe PEs sold out in 5 minutes. Her games are pulling millions of viewers. Her jerseys are pre-selling for hundreds above retail. This is superstar territory, and Clark is owning it. What makes Clark so special? It's not just her logo 3s or her Jordan-esque swagger. It's her ability to transcend the game. She's got that it factor, tough, shrewd, and undeniably clutch. She's not just a great passer. She's an all-time great playmaker who makes her teammates better. Her wrist-flicking, logo-bombing style is electrifying, and her impact is undeniable. She's selling out arenas, crashing websites, and breaking records left and right. Nike's finally giving her the respect she's earned, and it's about to change the game for women's sports forever. So while the haters keep crying, the rest of us are here for it. Caitlin Clark is that girl, the one who's rewriting the rules, elevating the league, and proving that women's basketball is a premium entertainment product. Nike's commercial is their way of saying, we get it now. They've struck gold with Clark, and they'd better keep acting like it. The future is bright, and it's wearing Kobe 5s with Mamba eyes. Let's go, Caitlin.
Her highest viewed so far on NBA TV, 624,000 folks. We're talking 3 times the amount. We are talking 2 times the amount on a random channel called NBA TV. What's it going to take for these other games' viewership to start?
Is it about Caitlin Clark? She's got it. She's got swagger. She's got, if you will, balls. She's tough. She's shrewd. She's not a good passer. She's all-time great. And she makes logo 3s, and she makes them beautifully. She jump shoots the way Steph does from the logo, where she's not feet on the floor pushing set shots. She goes up, holds it, and flicks the wrist and has incredibly underrated strength. She's just got all-time it factor. She's doing things on a nightly basis where you sit back and say, oh, she's selling them out like crazy. That's Jordan-esque. So in Impact, she's already having Michael Jordan impact.